Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio episode 1175. This is your host, Danny Pena, and no P in Paris this week once again. But don't worry, guys. We'll be back all together soon enough. But right now, I have a special guest, and you know he's always coming to the show. The one and only Tony Polanco from Throwdown Show. What's up, Tony?
Danny, what is going on, man? How are you doing?
Everything is good, man. Just been busy with my new job and everything, man. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, I could bet. But I'm glad I'm here because, I already did this on Throwdown, but, now I'm here on Gamertag Radio. I want to just publicly congratulate you on the gig. G4, that's a very big deal. I'm so proud of you, man. Knowing where you came from, where you've been, and now where you're going, it's incredible, man. You're a big inspiration to a lot of us content creators, writers, whatever, any field, any creative field. Like, you see what you're doing, it's really inspirational. It's a good lesson of, like, as long as you stick with it, something you're really passionate about, you will get places, so I just wanted to say that, let everybody know I'm very proud of my brother Danny. It's amazing, dude.
No, thanks a lot. I appreciate that so much, man. It's been a crazy journey, but it's fun. I've been having a great time over there at G4, and I have an awesome team. You don't know, the vibes has been great with everybody, man. So shout out everybody over there, man. Really cool stuff. Now, Tony, what's up with you, man? I know there's been some new changes ever since the last time you were on the podcast, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, to say the least, right? So I'm now Danny, it's crazy. It's been over a month now, bro. Time just flew by, but yeah, I'm now a full-time writer for Tom's Guide. I used to, do some freelancing for them. Now I'm full-time, getting benefits and all that. And just like you, man, I have such a great team with me. And it's also cool because it's a learning experience because I'm there, even though I do write about games sometimes, that's not my main job. I write about, computers, tablets and all that. I'm learning a lot about MacBooks and all this other stuff. So it's really kind of cool that I'm challenged by this, like, because obviously I don't, I'm always trying to improve my writing, but like my writing is on point, but like my knowledge when it comes to technology, which is obviously always evolving and all that's growing, and it's great, and it just like I said before, it's like, when I see, you and Paris going up there, I'm like, yo, listen, man, I got to do something. I can't disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? And just doing the same thing. So I think that's a good motivation. So yeah, I'm very happy. Some days it could be like, I'm not going to say social, but very, I got to do a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I'm always like, man, what I wrote today, I feel very proud of it. So, and the people at the job seem to really like me. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to start actually going to the office. So it'll be really cool working in that type of environment and really getting to know my colleagues better and just, getting back out there again, after, like a whole year of like not going anywhere, So big things are coming for sure. I'm going to go to CES for the first time in January again.
Nice,
so
nice.
That's
awesome.
That's going to be really cool. And, yeah, man. I mean, because I've never been to Las Vegas where everybody's always telling me about CES, but I never had anything to cover there. Now I will. So, yeah, big things are coming for sure, man. So it's just dope. Again, seeing all of us, like, where we came from and all that, and, just striving forward. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure I'm like the only Dominican on staff or something,
Yeah.
I mean, there's my boy Louis there. He's Latino too, but it's like, coming where I'm coming from, from the projects and Dominican Republic and all that, So it's good to, get more of our voices out there, but it's been dope, man. I'm really enjoying it, and just, I'm like, I want to see where this goes next, because now I'm going to have video game writing and then tech writing under me. So it's going to be popping, man. And I will say this, though, because I haven't planned my next Bright Life session. That one will probably be even more full of knowledge now that I'm gaining all this, from the job. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
No, that's good because I'm also planning to do a couple sessions, hopefully in the future, because the schedule right now is looking kind of hard for me right now because of work. But But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have that bright session. I'm glad you're going to continue to help out and do those sessions too. So let me know when you have yours, and I'll definitely will share it.
Yeah, you were there for the last one, right? Yo, that was so much fun, man. Yeah, you were. That's right. Well, we had Cherie on,
Hmm.
and our boy Mike Andronico. That was like one of the most popping sessions I was in, man.
That
It's
was
like it
fun.
was,
That was fun. That
yeah,
was a lot
that
of
was
fun.
great. So I definitely want to do that. But now this time, and then the last thing I'll say here before we get to whatever we could, yo, people, we're freestyling tonight. Just letting you know,
Yeah,
we are
yeah. No
freestyling it.
notes. No
Yeah.
notes. None of that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like because again, it's only been like a month since I haven't been a freelancer, but so it's interesting now being on this side of the fence, and I'm looking at other freelancers trying to see if I could bring them on, because again, that's part of both of our philosophies. Like, okay, when we get to the next level, we got to bring people along if we can, you know. So now that I'm here, you know, I was asked like, hey, do you know any good freelancers? Like, yeah, I got a couple. So I hit them up, like, yo, bro, they'll start sending you submissions in, you know.
Yeah, and that's dope. That's dope. Now, I want to mention a couple of things what we're planning to do on this podcast. There's a question that actually not a question, but more of a feedback from
Yeah.
one of our listeners. I'm not going to mention his or her name here, but I'm going to answer that in a few minutes. Also, I'm going to be reviewing Forza Horizon 5 on this episode, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be later on. And I want to have a conversation with Tony about and GeForce Now
Yeah.
RTX 3080. I know I've been trying it out for a couple of days now, a week. I don't know if Tony, if you had access to that, I know, but I know you've been playing GeForce Now for a while now on your computer, and I just want to have that conversation with you, like your thoughts and everything. So we're gonna do that later on. But first, head over to gamertagradio.com, listen to our past episodes. We have some classics, and make sure to stream it, listen to it, download it, and make sure to share it with your friends and your community. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. All you have to do is just search for Gamertag Radio. We're there. Follow us, subscribe, and also post your review. Now, if you would like to be part of our fan mail discussion, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so before we go to the next topic here, sorry, I'm getting like text and everything here.
Yeah, you already know.
No, but before we go to our topics, I want to answer this question and slash feedback from one of our listeners here. So, the past few weeks and maybe a couple months, we've been slowly changing the way how we've been recording our shows, Tony. And
Yeah.
to me, it's more of the vibe. Like I'm not one of those like, okay, let's talk about clickbait. Like I'm not that type of thing. That type of person. Like there's been leaks that have been coming out the past few days. I feel like I don't feel like talking about it at all. That's not my thing right now. I'm in a different different vibe, honestly speaking. And I feel like I don't want to concentrate so much on just news nonstop on a podcast. I feel like it's cool to talk about news, but I feel like for the podcast that we have, I just love to share our experiences, our hands-on impressions, our opinions about, different topics like that, but always talk about news. It's not like our focus 100%. It's good to have it there, breaking news and stuff like that. But the whole podcast, I don't want to do that. And if it happens, it happens. But I feel like the content that we've been releasing, a lot of them has been very unique, and I like to just focus on that. Now, I do want to say if there's topics that the listeners want us to talk about, you have the power and the opportunity not only to be on the podcast that thousands and thousands and thousands of people listen to, you have an opportunity to send us questions. And honestly, I prefer to do that more than anything because now I'm having a conversation with our community. We could debate, we could answer questions. We could just have a conversation about anything, right? Even if it's something from the news. But you have the power to do that. You have the power to change the content that we have on our podcast. But if people are not really sending us questions, or we have questions that we already answered, we're not going to put it on the show. Like I'm not going to be recycling same stuff over and over. You know, you get what I'm saying when it comes to like the questions and stuff like that. So I try my best to answer questions from people directly if we decide not to put it on a podcast. But I just love the conversation that we've been having. And sometimes we talk so much with just one topic for a long time that I'm like, yo, this is a really good conversation. Like, why I need to change it up and add more topics in there. You get what I'm saying, Tony? Like,
yeah, totally.
That's number one. Number two, you know, Paris and Pete haven't been on. They've been really busy with a lot of things. They've been busy, right? So the schedule has been kind of difficult for us all three of us, to record together. So I have to decide and figure out what are the topics I need to talk about on the podcast. You know, like Tony, we were talking the other day about GeForce Now, and we're like, yo, we should record this. I think this would be a great conversation. But that was us, because it wasn't because of the news or anything like that, because we felt like, yo, this is perfect for us to talk about on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my mind is at. You know, I'm not saying that news is going to go away 100%. I'm not saying that. But, yo, I'm doing this by myself right now. And, you know, again, the guys have been busy. And the things that I would like to talk about that I'm feeling, I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to go after whatever is popping and hot and everybody else is doing. Like, I'm not going to do that. So
yeah, no, I think that's a better approach, to be honest, and that's something I do because, like, I'm going back to the stone age of Throwdown right now. We used to do that. It was just a bunch of news, and then I noticed, I'm like, okay, why are we talking about like 20 news topics and we only got one thing to say about like one thing or another? So like for the last bunch of years, and mostly for this iteration that we've had going since 2014, I'll maybe have 3 or 4 topics that I know for a fact we'll get a good conversation, you know, or will at least lead us, because obviously the news is like the focal point, but I want that news story to lead into something more interesting than just like, here's what happened, because who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares about that? People listen to us to get our specific takes and our insight into it. So I think that's a good move, because how many you can listen, if you just want the news, go to IGN or something. You know, if you want like real honest opinions, you come to people like us. So I think that's a better approach, Danny, because again, when you are more invested in the topic, it's gonna sound better than just like, oh, here's the new Shin Megami Tensei or something like that you don't care about. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that's a good approach for sure, you know?
And here's the thing. When podcasts in gaming started, everybody was like, everybody was starting the show with, what is it you've been playing this week?
Yeah.
Everybody started like that, right? And I'm like, we decided, yo, we're going to change that up. Like, come on. I don't want to be like what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and we changed that. And I felt certain things that we changed. Even when I started the show, it was all about Xbox. And I'm like, yo, no, I want to talk about everything. Let's talk about PlayStation. Let's talk about PC. Let's talk about Nintendo. Let's talk about everything that has to do with gaming. Yeah. And we changed it up. People were angry. They were mad. You know, there was people even back in the days that were part of GTR. They had to leave, you know, because because maybe they have a job in the industry or something, you know, several reasons, whatever. So they bounce, and people, again, they get mad. Oh, you know, I'm not going to listen to the show because so-and-so is not on. Or if Paris has an opinion about something that a listener doesn't agree, or I have an opinion that a listener doesn't agree, they get mad and they say, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to GTR anymore. And it's like, it's so hard to keep everyone happy. So that's why it's good to just do our thing, and whoever likes it, likes it. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, man. I'm not, how I say this, I'm not stopping the show at all. Even now that I have a really crazy schedule now with G4 at my job, and I'm still going to be doing the show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just having fun with this. You know, our numbers are really good. We're not declining. There's new people listen to the show every single time. Every single day, there's a new listener. Every single day, I could tell because of the stats I've been seeing. You know, we've been doing good, and I'm having fun. It's just hard when you're 100% independent and you're doing this right now. I'm doing this right now by myself because the guys are busy. But once we come back, we'll do it, and we're gonna maybe talk about news and talk about other things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, Tony, it's really hard as a podcaster to keep everybody happy, man. I have to make sure that I'm having a good time, and my co-hosts are having a good time, and then our listeners are gonna have a good time because now we're sending that good vibes and that good, great conversation to everybody else. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's something I learned really early on, and I know in hindsight I realized I probably shouldn't have been as upset about it, but I know I was really upset during one episode. This was early on, where like somebody like wrote a long thing explaining what they didn't like about the episode or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh man, maybe we should change things up. We got to try to make people happy. Then another listener said, "Yo, Tony, man, screw that, man. You talk about what you're passionate about. If somebody doesn't like it, that's kind of too bad because there will be other people that will like it." So
Mm-hmm.
as soon it like and again, this is a fan that told me this, and he was 100% right. He's like, the instant you start trying to make people happy, the show's gonna lose its authenticity. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, so just do what makes you happy, and other people will follow. And he's been 100% right about that. So I think
Yep.
that's a good approach. It's like, you're right, Danny. You can't please everybody, but you will please some people, and they are the people that I'm not going to say that you only want people that only agree with you, but they are more of the kind of audience that you want to have. And even those people that are really rocking with you, there may be an occasion where they don't agree with you. They'll be like, you know what, I don't agree, but that's okay. That's cool. I'm going to keep listening. I'm going to keep supporting because this guy's keeping it real. So
Yeah.
that's a great approach, man. And another thing I want to touch on, because I'm kind of in the same boat as you now, because like this job I'm working, I work hard. I have to get up really early. So when I do throwdowns, because we still do them at the same time, right? I lose sleep when I do those shows, but I keep doing it anyway because I love it, man. I do not want to give throwdown away. When I started the second version of the podcast, I was like, it's just going to be, I'm not going to be associated with any sites. It's just an independent thing, because if I ever do get an industry gig, I don't want anybody taking anything away from me,
Yeah. Yeah.
So even though I lose sleep, I wake up on Mondays and Friday mornings all sleepy. I don't care, because I had a great time with my friends.
No, and I 100%. And I want to mention one more thing, and this is something that has happened in the past, and I think I told you this behind the scenes, Tony. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention this publicly. So when I announced that we were gonna have Phil Spencer, or big guests, Reggie, etc. There is people that follow me and the guys, the crew on social media, and they're telling us, you should ask this question, you should ask this question.
Yeah.
Something that I'm like, I'm not gonna ask that question. The person we're interviewing is not gonna answer. That's a waste of our time. People got mad about that. Mad. And guess what? We decided to ask questions that we know they're gonna answer. Not about leaks, none of that stuff. It's just more a great conversation, because I want the guests to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Guess what? We asked the right questions, and guess what happened after the episode release? Everybody's talking about it. There's media that will highlight all those, the questions. Like, there was one website that grabbed one of our interviews and did 6 articles from that. Still, a year plus later, there's still sites talking about our interviews that we did over a year ago, sourcing it like that was the time that we had that was the first conversation from so and so that mentioned that. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we know that we're not doing nothing wrong. I feel like we're doing the right way, our way, like the way that we feel comfortable on recording the content. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to mention that it's really hard to please everyone, and I get it. But I tell you this: if you're listening to the show, anybody, and I'm not mad at all, Tony. I'm having a good time right now.
Yeah, man.
But I have to speak up and I have to mention these things because people think it's easy to do this. It's not easy. Not easy doing
No,
this.
it's not.
But you, the listener, have the power to create some great content by just sending us an email, calling us, Fan mail to me is one of my favorite parts of the show because we're interacting with the listeners. A lot of shows don't do that. They probably just read an email and that's it. I've done full episodes. I know Tony has a whole episode on Throwdown Show answering questions from the community. And Tony, you tell me, you prefer doing that than talking about anything else, right? Because you're interacting with your audience, right?
Yeah, exactly. Throw down your questions. That's literally a second throwdown. Like it's a series, right? And dude, that one is like sometimes the more popping one, just because of the fact that we're getting questions not only that are submitted through our Discord, but also live on Twitch, and those are a lot of fun. And what I like about those is not only the fan interaction, which is great, but that's the one where I could feel the most relaxed because I don't have to prepare. It's just go in and ask questions, because I feel like, especially with fans, if you come in too prepared, it's going to seem fake. I'm like, let me just take the questions as they come and just answer them. And those are really and those shows always kind of segue into other topics too, which is always natural. Like we're doing right now. What we're doing right now, Danny, was not planned whatsoever.
Nope. Zero.
And I guarantee you people are going to be commenting, yo, dude, that was dope, that was dope, that was dope. And that's what I like about my question show, because it happens. Like we may get a specific question. Like it may be like, yo, what do you think about Mario 3D? And it'll go into something else completely.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I've never gotten a complaint about that ever. No one has ever said, oh, I hate it when you guys go off topic. I usually get, yo, I love when you guys do that because it leads to something more interesting, know?
Nah, that's a good thing, man, about podcasting. Hey, man, there's so many different type of content out there. You know what I'm saying? But make sure to listen to the episode that came out on Monday. That is a very special episode to me because 20 years ago, I was at the hands-on event before the launch of the Xbox, and I talked to my brother, and we had a very, very long conversation of how was it, stories, behind-the-scenes stories, Tony, that we've never talked about publicly on the show. And we were just going back 20 years ago. And in the show, I added some content that I recorded at my second gaming event that I went to with my recorder. So make sure to listen to it. It's a very, very dope episode of GTR. And again, exclusive content. Nobody else has it. And that's the thing that I love to do. Be creative with that type of cool content. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. All right. So Tony, let's talk about GeForce now, man. Cloud gaming. I've been starting to doing this now for like the past 2 weeks or so. This is like my third week with it. And I'm enjoying it. I think just cloud gaming in general, Tony, I feel like it's been good for me, especially because now I'm going to be out from the house. I can't be, I don't have a very powerful PC compared to you and P in Paris, right? But sometimes when you're on the go, you want to play some of these games, man. You just grab a phone, grab your laptop, grab the Chromebook, a console. Maybe you don't have space to download games, but you have a great internet at your house, internet speed, where it will allow you to stream your games. Like it's been a very interesting past couple of years for me, especially of just using cloud gaming, right? So, but recently, I have access now to GeForce Now, RTX 3080, and I've been having a blast. And the speed is dope, low latency. Like, dude, it's been a phenomenal thing for me, man, to try that out, man, for the first time. And shout out to NVIDIA for giving me the access. But for you, Tony, I know we had that conversation about that service at GeForce Now, and you said that was like one of your favorite cloud gaming services for you, and I want to know why. Why is your favorite for you?
Yeah, just going back a little bit. So I haven't tried the new GeForce Now with RTX, but I did start playing it last year, right? I reviewed it for Laptop Mag, and the reason I liked it so much is because I get to play games from my personal Steam library on there, and the quality is legit. And granted, I do have like really good internet speeds or whatever, but it was cool for me to, at that point, it wasn't like RTX 3080, but it was still ray tracing, right? I got to play Cyberpunk with ray tracing through streaming, and it was great. It was like, yo, this looks legit. But yeah, that's my main thing. I love the interface, and I love the fact that it's games that I don't have to buy. That I already bought them. They're just part of my my library. And this is moving forward. I'm really excited about the possibility of playing this on the Steam Deck, bro. That's cool.
Oh yes. That's going to be interesting doing that, because now you can play that on the go. That's
Exactly.
going to be awesome.
Dude, so yeah, I really enjoy that. To me, that one, GeForce Now and Xbox cloud gaming, those are the best, man. And shout out to you, Danny. You're the one that put me onto Project X Cloud. Remember what it was called, Project X Cloud?
Yeah, yep. I remember that.
I'm pretty sure I told this story on this show before, but I'll say it again, right? So it was me, Danny, and Paris. We were at in San Francisco with those hills. Danny, remember the hills?
Yes. I remember.
And we were in Danny, I believe it was your hotel room, and you're like, yo, you got to check out Project X Cloud. So you gave me, it was your phone, right? That with a controller, and this is hotel Wi-Fi, bro. And it was clean. I was playing Destiny. I'm like, let me play something that requires very precise input and stuff. Play Destiny, it was seamless. And then after that, it was just kind of funny how that happened. I played that, and then like literally a month after that, my friend Cherie, who's the editor in chief over at Laptop Bag, she's like, hey, you want to review some cloud services for us? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I reviewed GeForce Now, Xbox, Shadow, and Stadia. And Stadia is probably the worst out of all of them, just being real, But yeah, so you that was I'm not gonna say that was not my first experience with cloud gaming. My first real experience was a PlayStation Now, but that was not very good back in the day. It might be better now, so I don't want to talk any smack about it, but when it first came out, I wasn't happy about it. That's why I kind of dismissed cloud gaming. Like, I don't think it's going to work. But no, these services are great. And like you said, Danny, what's cool about it is like, yo, you could have a Chromebook. Chromebooks are not power PCs or nothing, right? They're just, they're just Chromebooks. You could play Cyberpunk or The Witcher or Doom Eternal, with the highest settings possible now. So that's why I think it's so great. And again, the possibility of Steam Deck getting it, because I know it's probably going to have some way of getting it. That's going to be so cool, man.
Yeah. I've been playing Control, and I put the settings all the way high. But here's one thing I have to mention, because I know you mentioned games on Steam. Dude, I have a bunch of games not only on Steam, but also I started getting games now at Epic Game Store and also Ubisoft Connect. EA, I don't have that many. But, the good thing about this is you connect your accounts to the service, and without even downloading these games, because these games are pretty big. I don't even have space right now, because I have a lot of videos, a lot of audio recordings for the podcast, and it helped me to just launch the app, play the games, just click the game that I want, and I just connect the controller, or you could just do it through Bluetooth, whatever, or through the NVIDIA Shield Now, and it's smooth the whole time, dude. And
that's dope.
I think that's dope. Not only if you have Steam, but if you have not Ubisoft Connect, Epic Game Store, they're always adding new games there all the time, right? They're adding even free games, and some of those free games are available on the service. So, dude, I like it, yo. I really, really enjoyed it, man. Big time, dude. And I haven't really noticed any like lag or anything like that. That's the crazy part. I haven't played games like Apex Legends or anything like that. I'm more of the single player or maybe co-op experience more than multiplayer for me. But have you tried anything multiplayer from your end, or you focusing on the single player side?
Yeah. Oh no. Like whenever I tested them. By the way, I forgot. Luna, I tested that as well. That's actually really good as well.
Oh, Luna. Okay.
Yeah, Luna's good. You can connect Ubisoft to that. Destiny 2 specifically was always my go-to game. I was like, because I know the single players are going to run from. I'm like, let me try some Destiny, bro. So, and every single time, here's the thing: there is input lag, but it's so small you don't notice it, right? So if you don't notice it, it's kind of not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, technically speaking, if you want to get like really, really technical about it, yes, there is input lag, but if the human mind cannot notice it, it doesn't matter, and we've gotten to that point where it's like that. And this is like, because America doesn't have like the greatest internet connections or whatever compared to like Japan or Korea or whatever. So, but we are going to get there. So when we get to that point, it's going to be seamless, man. It's incredible. And I'm really like, and this is something Paris and I talked about as well. And I know he brought it up on the show. It's like, I really see the day in the future. I don't want to put any years on it, but I do see the day where you buy a new TV or whatever, right? And it already comes pre-installed with like an Xbox app, GeForce, maybe PlayStation. You never know, right? So I really see that as the future. You buy a TV, you buy a controller, you're set. Streaming games,
Yeah.
And then think about it like this, right? Because again, I'm trying to really think forward into the future. Imagine you're like a 15-year-old born in the future, right? You're gonna be like, okay, how did these old people just buy one game at a time? I play every game ever made right now, just through streaming or whatever. So that's something in the future, because why would you want to restrict yourself to just one single platform when you could have everything? That's the way I see it.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right, let's talk about our sponsor, and that's StoryWorth. This holiday season, I want to give a gift to my loved ones that makes them feel special and unique, just like the relationship we share. That's why I'm giving everyone I care about StoryWorth. StoryWorth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It is thoughtful and a meaningful gift that connects you to those who matter the most. Every week, StoryWorth emails your relative or friend a thought-provoking question of your choice from their vast pool of possible options. Each unique prompt asks questions you never thought to ask. Like, for example, what is the bravest thing you ever done in your life? Or, if you could see in the future, what would you want to find out? And honestly, I could continue with all these questions. I think that would be really cool to find out what they have to say, man. Especially for me, I'm always thinking ahead of like years from now. I probably will ask them like something like, hey, what do you see yourself doing from 5 years from now? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So even after a year, by trying this service, StoryWorth will compile all your loved ones' stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book that you were able to share and revisit for generations to come. And the reason why I like this service so much, because I always mention this to my friends and even my family, that it's important to share those moments and those moments with your family, pictures and stuff like that, because it is hard for me finding pictures and moments like that from my parents when they were young. It's really, really hard. When I find like a picture from them, I get super, super excited. So something like this, I would like to have that and also give that to my kids in the future, something like that, So I'm really, really excited about it. But look, reading the weekly stories helps you connect with the loved ones, no matter how near or far apart you are. So, guys, take action right now, GTR members. With StoryWorth, I'm giving those I love most thoughtful personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come. So go right now. If you like what I have to say about this, go right now to storyworth.com/GTR and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/GTR to save $10 on your first purchase. We'd like to thank StoryWorth for sponsoring this episode of Gamer Tag Radio.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right, we're going to continue with the episode of Gamertag Radio with Tony Polanco. But first, I have to talk about GeForce Now. And this time it's going to be about the RTX 3080. For those who don't know, I've been using the service now for actually 2 weeks or so. And I've been playing some games there, Control, Streets of Rage. I also have Apex Legends there. I have a couple games that I have connected, my Steam account, Ubisoft account, and also EA, etc. So, and Steam. But I do want to mention about this because right now I'm only playing it right now through my laptop, and also I tried it on my mobile device, and I've been having a blast. The experience has been really, really good. I've never, and guys, I mentioned this previously before on the show. I've never used this before. I never used GeForce Now. I know Paris been really talking about this for a while, and this is my first time trying it. But this time, I'm in the higher tier now, with the RTX 3080, which was announced last week through their official website. So you could try this out once it's official for everybody else. You could try it also NVIDIA Shield TV, mobile devices, PC, Mac, Android, etc. So for those who know, you could play up to 120 FPS, and this is 1440p on PC and Mac. Even if you use a Chromebook, you will get to see this experience, and you will see how it looks. And again, 120 FPS, which is going to look amazing, high frame rate, and the lowest latency mode out of all the tiers, using our RTX 3080. Now, I have to mention, there's tons and tons of games available through the service. Again, all you have to just connect your accounts from all the different apps, and you could play Destiny 2, you could play Fortnite, you could play Apex. Again, I mentioned this earlier, that I've been playing a lot of Streets of Rage 4. By the way, that game is phenomenal. It looks great. But also, I wanted to see how the other games look, like a game like Control, because I'm a huge fan of that game, and it looks really, really good. Even Apex Legends, especially now with the new season that just came out, this is also another way for you to play this on the go. Another thing I want to mention is that the great thing about this, and this is something that Paris mentioned to me even before joining the service, that you could get your game. Let's say you buy a game through Steam, but you don't have the space to download that game to your laptop or any device that you have, right? Because you have it connected to your account, it's already available there through GeForce Now. So you could just open up the app, choose that game, make sure that it's linked to your account, and that's it. It would just stream it, and it's a lot fast. It's not slow when it takes some time. They're searching for the game. So, but the GeForce Now founders and priority members have early access to pre-order this. It's already been out now for like a week or so. If you want to join a membership, it's $99 for 6 months of membership, and this is going to be available in North America starting now in November. And for those who are listening to the show in Europe, you could also pre-order, and that will be launching sometime in December. So yeah, if you haven't pre-ordered now, this is like your opportunity right now to try this out, man. So again, you could try this out. Even if you are just curious about the service, you could even try the free tier just to see how it is, and it's totally free. I had a great conversation with Tony. He even mentioned this on the podcast, that this is his favorite cloud gaming service, and I am going to play that audio in a few minutes here. But it's been a great experience. I even posted videos of me just trying out different games to see how it looks, and it looks great. I even tried out Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a phenomenal game, and this is the perfect game for me to take on the go, and I could just play like that. As long as I have a good connection, hey, I'm all in. You know what I'm saying? So try it out, and if you guys can, go right now to my Twitter account and just search for my videos and search for NVIDIA, GeForce Now, RTX 3080, and my name to Twitter. And you will see the video. I posted, I think it's like under 10 minutes or so, but I just wanted to show the world my experience as someone that's coming into this very new, and it looked good. I capture it, and I was also capturing my initial reactions of just the service, the app, the games I've been playing, and I even tried Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time was through this service before I even played it from the console. So yeah, it's really really good, man. So for those that are listening and have other questions about this service, please hit me up, Godfrey, on Twitter, and I will try my best to answer the questions. But the conversation we are going to continue the conversation on this episode with my friend Tony, because we had a long conversation about cloud gaming, and I think this service, in my opinion, should be up there because it's just easy access. It's easy to connect all your applications, all the stores that you have on your computer, and just connect it through there. And at the same time, take that with you everywhere, man. Or you want to play that on your TV? Get the NVIDIA Shield. I've been trying that too, and it's perfect. It's great. I played a Control for a while there through there. So actually, I gotta try out Guardians of the Galaxy through that. Like, I haven't done it. Only done it from the computer. But anyways, like we said, we're gonna continue the conversation about NVIDIA GeForce Now, or RTX 3080. And again, send me questions about it. This is really really great service, and I'm gonna play it right now. My conversation with Tony about cloud gaming. Stay tuned.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
So go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say that just recently I started playing Guardians of the Galaxy through.
Yes.
So I have two versions. I have the digital version I downloaded on my console, and I also have it through Epic Game Store. So I'm playing that via GeForce Now. And dude, the game is so freaking good, man. Honestly, it's one of the biggest surprises, I think, in my opinion, that has been that released this year. Because honestly, man, the Marvel's Avengers was kind of whack. So I'm like, I don't know if this, like, the story was okay, multiplayer, the end game was meh, So I was having that on my mind, like, okay, there's no way this game is gonna be good, dude. The game came out, and I tried it for the first time through the service, a cloud gaming service. And dude, I really, really love this game. I think it's one of the biggest surprises of this year for me, man. For me, big. And the soundtrack is freaking amazing too, man. Story is awesome. And the cast that they have in there, this not the same people the same actor that worked in the movie, but different voice actors and actresses, but phenomenal job, dude. Biggest surprise for me. What'd you think about that game?
Yeah.
Tony?
So, plug, you can head over to Tom's Guide right now. I reviewed the game, right? I actually got to play it like a week before everybody else. I finished it in a weekend, and I was already hyped for the game. Here's the funny thing. I got hyped for the game the instant they said single-player narrative game, because when they first showed it, like the first couple seconds, I'm like, oh, no, we're going to get another Avengers, but they said, no, it's just Peter Quill, the characters and all that. And when I played the game, it was even better. It was even better than I expected, because I played a preview of it. That was dope. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think it is the biggest surprise for me of the year. And it may be my game of the year at the end of the year, because of the characters. I love how real they all felt, like they're always talking. And, even though like on the outside, some of them could be kind of silly or whatever, like Rocket Raccoon, like when you find out their backstories, it's really heartbreaking. It's like, okay. And I really, I'm not giving away too much of the game, but I feel that people who have maybe had really traumatic lives will resonate with this game, just because that is the theme of the game: trauma and trying to overcome it, and not basically not cutting yourself off from other people trying to come together, even if the other people you're trying to come together with may not want to, they kind of do as well. So it's just so dope. And it feels like a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It really does. Just the production value is amazing. And like you said, the soundtrack, for me, I'm a big hard rock and metal guy. So I just love hearing all that stuff, and like hearing specific tracks during specific epic moments. It just brings it all home, man. So I can't like say enough how much I love that game. And even on my site, they're like, yo, Tony, like I read your review, I started playing the game. I think you may be onto something, man. Like this game is amazing.
Yeah.
And again, and it brings this, there's something I've been thinking about all week. Like, and don't get me wrong, I think there is a space for like superhero games that are multiplayer based, but I think some of the best successes we've had with superhero games are single player. I'm talking about the Batman Arkham games. I'm talking about Insomniac Spider-Man games. Now we're talking about Guardians. Like, because to me, comics and even comic book movies are all about the characters and the story in the world, and you as the player want to feel like you're these characters, right? And it's hard to do that when you kind of play like DC Universe Online. I'm not trying to knock it or anything. It's a good game for what it is, but when you just make some kind of generic hero, it's like it doesn't feel as good as like playing Batman. What I loved about the Batman Arkham games, for example, Danny, you and I have been playing Batman games since the 80s, right?
Yeah, since the 80s. Old school.
Exactly. Old school. But here's the thing about, and don't get me wrong, some of those games were fantastic. I love Batman Returns, right? But it was always like, okay, here is a game formula. Let's say, for example, here's a beat 'em up. Let's put Batman into this, right? With the Arkham games, they're like, okay, what is Batman all about? How can we translate that to a game? Okay, Batman fights. He's a detective, and he's sneaky, and they built all these mechanics around it. And when you're playing a game, you feel like you're Batman. Spider-Man, same thing, right? What mechanics do we need in this game to make you feel like Spider-Man? So you got the web swinging, you got the gadgets, you got even puzzle solving. That's how you do these games, man. You got to like bring the spirit. And then with Guardians of the Galaxy, how do we make people feel more into the world? Oh, Peter Quill could actually talk to his people, and different things may happen because of the character interactions. That's how you do it, man. And that's why Guardians is so successful. And you're right, Danny. A lot of people who have been playing this game who maybe have been sleeping on it, they're playing it. They're like, yo, whoa, this is great. I was not expecting this,
Yeah. And here's the thing. Not all superhero games have worked when it comes to single player. Because remember, look, let's go back to Superman 64, Tony.
Oh God, yeah.
It was terrible, terrible, and it's hard. It's hard for a company to work on a game like that. That's going to be really, really hard to pull off, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I can't say yet that this is game of the year for me because I just started playing, so I'm gonna have the full experience and then I'll decide after that. But yo, it's high up there, man. It's really, really high up there. So for those that are listening, if you have an opportunity to buy a game, make sure to get this game. This game is awesome, man. It's really, really good. Doesn't matter.
It'll put a smile on your face.
Doesn't matter where you buy it. First of all, don't buy the Nintendo Switch version because that one is strictly 100% cloud on that one.
Oh, man.
And I don't look, I love cloud gaming, but I don't like buying a game is 100% cloud. There's no digital. There's nothing like that part. I don't like the same thing what Stadia been doing. Tony, you buy the game and you only have access to it. That's it. You don't have access to download or anything like that. Not a fan of that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up because again, we were just talking about how great cloud gaming is 10 minutes ago. But yes, cloud gaming is great, but there are some certain pitfalls, and that's one of them. I'm with you, Danny. I'm like, okay, I think cloud gaming is great. It's the future, but I'm not trying to pay $60 for a streamed game. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'd rather pay $60 for a subscription.
Yeah,
that makes more sense to me. So that's why I feel that Stadia it's not the best one of these streaming services. I don't think it's good to charge people one by one. And I didn't know that about the Switch version. I thought it was like actually local. So
no, that one you have to buy. Wow. It's cloud. It's cloud. Because there's a couple games that you could download right now, but you buy it $59.99 or $49.99. on Switch, but some of them are all cloud. So, for example, Hitman, the latest Hitman one, I know Control is available there. This one, and there's a couple other more on the Switch. I'm not a big fan of that. I think if it was like a service type style, then I'll be I'll be down to do that, you know. But actually buying the game and that's it, not a fan. Not a
Yeah,
fan
no,
at
they
all.
need to chill. They need to chill with that.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Yeah, that's the point. But yeah, don't get it on Switch, but get it on everything else.
Yes, yes, yes,
You
for
know,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Anything else, Tony? Before we almost wrap it up at the end, almost. But go ahead.
No,
We
I
could talk
mean the
about one.
only thing.
We could talk about
Yeah,
one more topic if you want.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna bring this up like to real fruition later on. But I just wanted to ask you about the Xbox 20th anniversary, and specifically, you know, your career tied in with it because. Like, you and Xbox have been like linked together since the beginning. So, what do you think about that? Like the fact that you've seen the Xbox brand grow from its beginnings to now, man. So, what do you think about that journey as we about to hit the 20th year?
Before I answer that question, that would be awesome to go to your podcast and talk about it too.
Oh yeah, you know
'Cause,
what? We're gonna do that right now, man. So we're making it official. Danny will be on for the Xbox 20th anniversary.
yeah.
Which is that's in 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna be on, and that we'll talk about that. But yeah, I was just curious. Like we were talking about Xbox a little earlier. I'm like, Danny, what do you think about it? Especially the fact that your career was really like made, because of Xbox.
I know it's insane thinking about it, man. I've been there when the company, like the first team, Hungry, right? They done a lot of things back then, especially getting the community involved to play their games and events and everything. That's like 2001, right? That was awesome to see. Then it was even better to see the launch of the Xbox 360 because now they figure out how to get not only the hardcore audience but also the mainstream audience, and again, involved with the community, which is awesome. I love that. Like for example, when it was revealed through the MTV channel, Xbox 360 review event. You can look it up on YouTube. It's available there, the whole video. But when it was revealed, that was for the mainstream audience. And maybe the hardcore here and there will watch it, right? But guess what? Right after that was released, there was also a special video that got released online that was more for like the technical, the hardcore crowd that just love gaming, love Xbox. And it was cool seeing that video too, because now they figured out how to get that crowd, balance that mainstream and the hardcore crowd. Again, community all the way. The part where things were changing for Xbox was towards the end of the Xbox 360 cycle when Don Matrick took over.
Yeah.
They were not really focused on community, only talking to certain sites, certain media outlets. And I remember that time when I even went to the Xbox One reveal at E3 that year. Dude, that was the worst E3 I've ever seen from Xbox. The worst one. I wrote an open letter. I don't know if you remember this, Tony, but I wrote an open letter
I remember that.
to Don Matrick to see if he was willing to go to a site. I don't care if it was ours or other sites, just a community site to talk, because we felt at that time that we were used. Only got they got connected with us for a couple amount of years. As soon as they were number one, that's it. We don't need to talk to them anymore or talk to the certain people. Like it was just whack seeing that, man. But ever since Phil Spencer took over the company, it completely changed Xbox. Not only seeing new things in the industry like the X Cloud and stuff like that, but also what I've been seeing too is the fanboys were making fun of the Xbox Series X when it first announced. Oh, it looked like a fridge. They flipped it. Okay, let's do a mini fridge. Like just making fun of themselves, but having fun with it, man. Like companies don't do that anymore. They don't do that. They're very like quiet, very conservative with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel this is a totally different Xbox. And now you could tell with the team, they're enjoying it. They're having fun with the projects they've been working on. People are excited and seeing a whole new generation that now are playing their games and even working with it. It's a whole new crowd that are working there. The people that I met 20 years ago, they don't work there anymore. They moved on, they're retired, and this is dope seeing that, dude. And it seems like for me and my journey, I went through the good and the bad, the same thing that they went through, the same exact thing, Tony. And I feel like right now where I'm at is like the highest and one of the best moments of my life is right now at age 44. Best time of my life, Tony.
That's beautiful, man.
Best career, best moments, especially on the 20th year. The 20th year, yo, I got engaged. Um, now it's been a year living in Los Angeles. I got my face, a picture of crazy billboard in Times Square. Multiple opportunities this year that I talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been a crazy journey, dude. And
Yeah.
it feels special. This is why the 20th anniversary of Xbox means a lot to me, because of all the things that have been happening not only to them as a company, but also me, me as a creator. So it's awesome to see, man. And dude, that's once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime, you're gonna experience this type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
you're right about that. It's just kind of interesting. Again, like Xbox helped launch your career, and then on their 20th anniversary, it's your best year like ever. So that is so dope to see that, man.
yeah, yeah.
And I think obviously for Xbox and for you, things are going to keep getting better and better, man. So it's not only is like the present great, but the future is going to be even better, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I mentioned on because Rihanna, my fiance, she recorded a video of my reaction seeing myself on a billboard in Times Square for the first time. And I said to the video, this is a full circle moment. I was here 20 years ago I attended at the event, the launch event of Xbox. I went to Toys R Us, which doesn't even exist anymore. I was
Yep.
there, got to meet the team, got to play, and also meet Bill Gates. Like, it was insane back then. And then 20 years later, I go back on my 20th year as a creator and see myself on a billboard. The most, Tony, I can't even explain how insane that thing is, man. Like, telling that to someone, they'll be like, what? And the reason is, Tony, is because, yo, I've never stopped working. I've never stopped creating content. I've been having a blast. I never stopped like being lazy or like, I don't feel like recording. Like, no, dude. Having the right people with you, Tony, like you have a team, you have a group of friends that, yo, they're like, yo, let's make moves. Let's make moves. You got that job now because been making moves. And at the same time, Tony, you having a blast with it. And that's what people need to focus on more than anything, more than clicks, numbers, money, is you need to have fun with this. If you're not having fun with anything they do in life, for the love of God, just stop doing it, man. Because you're torturing yourself. You're forcing yourself on something that you like to do.
Yeah, it's funny you bring it up. I was watching, speaking about G4. Remember Chris Gore? He used to do stuff on G4. He was like a movie review guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was appearing on this video series on YouTube. I forget the name of it, but anyway, they asked him like, "Can you have a long-lasting creative career and not be passionate about it?" He's like, "No, you can't. You have to be passionate about it."
Mm-hmm.
And you're right about that, because when you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. Even when you get really, really busy and stuff, like even again, like, we love our vacations and all that, but we also like working too, man. It fulfills something in us, man. And going back to the other point, you're right. It's like when you surround yourself with people who are also trying to get ahead, you want to do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was hanging out with other type of people, I may not be pushing it, but again, when I hang out with you in Paris and all my other friends and they're trying hard, I'm like, I can't let them down. I have to try just as hard too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you see my success, like, oh, Tony's doing it, I got to do it. And it's not even like a competition. It's just like, I want to. Again, I don't want you to go, oh, Tony, man, you slipping, bro. Like, I don't want anybody to feel that. Like, not only you, but like my family, even my fans. Like, I need to do this not only just for myself but for other people, because it inspires, man. And keeping it real, Danny, it's even more important for people like us, Latinos, POC, whatever. Like I think it's really important to get out there. And I'll tell this story, man. Just personal stuff. I almost didn't announce that I got the job at Tom's Guide because I was worried that some haters would try to dig up some old stuff. And you, Danny, specifically told me, Tony, you got to got there and say it, man, because you got to make our people proud. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And it was great, man, because it shows people that we can do it. Like, I know we're not as visible in some of these spaces as like traditional people are, but that's why we have to get out there and do it. Because it's like, and I kept it real. I was like, listen, man, I started off as a disabled kid who grew up in the Dominican Republic, poor, and now look at me, man, living the American dream. Just like you, Danny, because I didn't stop, man. I kept going, and the journey still isn't over. Like, okay, I've reached this level. Great. What's next?
Yeah.
Because there's too many cats out there, man. Too many cats out there. All they talk about is the past, right? Oh, I did this. I did that. That's great that you did that. That's fantastic. What are you doing now? What will you be doing? That's what I want to hear, So, for all you people out here listening to us, man, like, I hope that we can inspire you in some way to elevate your life and just be better, not only for yourself, but for your family, your friends, and your community, man, because that's what it's all about. The thing you want to do, not to get too serious about it, but we got to keep it real, though. If you know for a fact, like if you die tomorrow, that the world is a little bit better than it was before you came in, then you did your job right.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right, Tony. And, I remember last year we were both going through a lot because of the pandemic in New York, and we were like, "Yo, let's get together every Friday or every few Fridays."
Yeah,
we would get together and like motivate each other because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but it was good.
It was not.
It was good to do that as friends, just have each other's back. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I know this is not 100% gaming conversation, but dude, I want to inspire the next generation of content creators, man, the next podcasters, YouTubers, streamers, writers, whatever. We need a whole new crowd, man, to be in the industry, man.
I know you're right about that.
Like I said in the beginning of the show, I said you have the power to change the conversation that we have on the show based on sending those questions, voicemail, and everything, right? You also have the power to change the industry. You have to make the moves to make that change. If you just sit back and just complain, there's not going to be no change. You have to take action. Take action, man. So just want to say that we leave it as that, right? Right, Tony?
Yeah, for real, yeah. That's it. But I'll just say this one quick thing. But like, okay, maybe the topic we just talking about right now may not be about gaming, but because of gaming, we're having this conversation. Because if it wasn't for gaming, we wouldn't be here right now. Games are what inspired us to do what we do.
Yep.
And that goes back to other things. Like, don't think that you playing a video game is a waste of your time, because maybe you playing a game will inspire you to do something else, man. So that's why gaming is important too, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right, let's talk about my review of one of my anticipated games of this year, Forza Horizon 5, which is out now, coming out soon for Xbox and PC. And also, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you could definitely get that game through there. Now, for those who don't know, I've been playing Forza Horizon for years. I'm a huge fan of the series. I even had it multiple times as a Game of the Year contender for me. But on actually November 5th, you could get the early access to this game. And November 9th is where it's available everywhere, also especially on Game Pass. So the game takes place in Mexico. A lot of people been probably played the game before. They had it in Australia and other locations too. But something about Mexico is beautiful. Just the environment there. There's you could race in the jungle, race by the volcano. There's so much culture there too, man. Especially with the music, and you will see the paintings, the houses. Everything is just beautiful. Not only you could play this game by yourself, but you could also play with other people or with friends or random people, right? So again, there is music in the game. You could turn it off. You could change the stations. Now, I know I mentioned this during our last preview about Forza Horizon that, you know, at first I was like, where's the Spanish music? Where is the Spanish music? Because this takes place in Mexico. Now, there is a lot of English in this game. There is one Mexican voice actor that is in the game all over, and he'll take you like to the different festivals and tell you what to do and everything, which is awesome. By the way, the introduction of this game is phenomenal. I don't want to say anything about it. I just want you to play for the first time and experience it yourself because it's one of those like must have dope experience. It was really cool seeing the opening and the cinematics and not only that, but also driving all over Mexico for the first time. Phenomenal. Now, like I was saying about the radio stations, the developers decided to add the station music, Spanish music, at different stations across the game. And the reason is they didn't want to have just one station focusing on just like Spanish music, because it is true when you go to like Mexico or any other Latin countries, they have the Spanish songs, but also there's also English that they play throughout the day. So they decided to do something like that for Forza Horizon 5. So if you're into the hip hop, you will listen to hip hop or anything that is like urban Spanish music. Same thing for rock and other places. So the soundtrack is phenomenal. You will hear some old school songs, even new school songs. So that's cool. Now, if you're a streamer, I know you want to stream this right away and show it to your community. You could turn off the licensing music, and they also created original music in the game where you will not get flagged and you could play it all around. So the game is very diverse. You will see Mexico on all, like I said earlier, all type of different ways, from like the jungle, the riverside, the volcano, the you'll see a sandstorm. I just love the different type of experience that you will get to see in Mexico. Not only that, you will go to the desert and the jungles, but you also will see historic cities in the game that is from Mexico. Now, they added a lot of new additions. This is the biggest and the best campaign yet out of all the Forza Horizon games. You can invite players, of course, together, explore the country, and check out all the new modes. There's co-op modes, there's a battle royale mode. There's so many things that you could do, and not only that, you could together discover, hey, how can I get smash boards? There's some boards that is really challenging because I have it like in the top of a house or top of a vehicle, and together you guys could figure out like, okay, how can I get up there through the hills? You jump depending what type of car you have. Like it's really, really cool. It has the burnout vibe, like the Burnout series. Remember that from back then? It came out for the Xbox 360. That's the type of vibe that you will get when you play this game. And it's really, really awesome. Now, there is dynamic weather and seasons is always going to be changing. It's similar to the ones in the past. There's also past games. There's also over 500 cars to collect in this one. And Event Lab, which is something pretty cool, is that you could also create expressions and cool things in the game. And you can share that to the world, man. You know what I'm saying? So like challenges, custom raids, stunts, entirely new game modes. You could do that on your own. That you do have the option to select if you want quality mode or performance mode. For me, because I play on both on Xbox Series X and also on the S, I like playing it on performance mode. You know, if you would like to play that on 4K and so on, you could change it through the settings. Is really, really cool. And accessibility features here is phenomenal. Again, Microsoft has always been great when it comes to that. Now, I've been having a blast with this game. This is, to me, one of the top contenders, top games for me this year that I played. The amount of features in the game, the amount of things you could do, the customization, the cars that you could collect. You could play co-op. There's also time events thing that they have in the game where you could go and do things together with other players, or you could also do this with your friends, and it's timed, and you have to work together in order to achieve and get points. So the more points you get, It's going to help you to unlock more stuff in the game too. There's also card clubs. If you want your community or your friends, let's say you want to have a small group, you guys can do that together and just as a group do a lot of activities, man. Look, this game is phenomenal. Playground Games has always been one of my favorite developers. I know right now they're working on the new Fable game, and look, the crowd is going to enjoy this game when they try this out. The majority of people, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you could try it out. It will be there in the service. But I have to say, graphics wise, this is by far, and I am not exaggerating, by far the best looking game that I ever seen on Xbox, period. This game looks beautiful. And the thing that I love the most is that it's highlighting a Latin America country. For me, as a Latino, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. But you that are listening to this podcast, you could try this on your own, and you see why not only me, but a lot of other people are gonna give this game great reviews, because the game at the end of the day is so much fun. The replay value in this game is so high, really, really high. Must have, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game get nominated for multiple categories at the Game Awards, or even other sites. They're gonna name this as one of the top games of the year, man. So highly recommended. Go right now and download Forza Horizon 5. Also, if you would like to be part of our Gamer Tag Radio Club, just look us up in the game, Gamer Tag Radio. We're gonna be there, and we'll play together, and maybe you'll see me around driving, as a ghost, man. It's pretty dope. Dope game. Highly recommended. Go right now and download it. Forza Horizon 5. Out now for Xbox and PC. Thanks for everyone for listening to my review of Forza Horizon 5. And thanks to Microsoft for sending me this review code.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, Tony. Mention your Twitter. Mention your podcast so people could follow you and also listen to your podcast, Mike. This is important. Your show is really cool, man. Go for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Romudeth. That's ROMUDETH. And in my bio, you will find links to all the things I do. I am a computing writer for Tom's Guide, doing a lot of really cool things over there. And I'm also the host of Throwdown Show podcast. We go live on Twitch every Thursday and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We're also available on YouTube and, of course, literally any podcast app you could think of. Like, even ones I've never heard of, we're on there, Mm-hmm. So go check us out. Throwdownshow.com has links to all of our past episodes. And, yeah, man, just keep it on. Check Twitter's where I'm most active, so check me out on there. I'm always talking to myself. Right now, I'm just talking about Dune because I love the movie so much, And obviously, I got to thank you, Danny, for inviting me on. And, again, these conversations, I love these because, again, we didn't plan none of this, man.
Nothing.
No
notes.
Absolutely none, man. But this is and we always get really good feedback, so we're doing a lot of good for the community in that end. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. Shout out to you, Paris and Pete, and the Gamer Tag Radio crew, man. You guys are fantastic. Love what you guys are doing, man. Again, this is top level gaming podcast right here, bro. So I'm glad you guys have been out there forever doing this, just, showing us the way, man. So thank you for that.
Nah, thanks for being on. And look, I know the state of play happened a couple of days ago. Seriously, I didn't want to talk about that. That was just terrible. yeah, that was just terrible. Not good. That was not good. Yeah. So see, that's an example. Why talk about it?
Exactly.
It's all good. All right, guys, head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. You also can find us on any podcast app. We're there. Make sure to follow us and also post a review. And let us know your thoughts about this show. Also, if you'd like to be part of our fan mail discussion, again, you have the power to do that. Here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, until next time, everyone, we'll be back here at Gamertag Radio. And I just want to send a reminder to everyone that the week of Thanksgiving, we're taking that week off. Once again, the week of Thanksgiving. Also, during the holiday, the month of December, which is Christmas, and also New Year's, we're going to be off for a while. So just want to say that. So we have a couple episodes left here this year for 2021. Insane. I can't believe 2021 is about to end, man. Crazy. Insane.
Crazy.
Crazy. All right, everyone. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, that was dope, bro.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.